Hey guys, look at this. I talked about how the iPhone 12 performs decently in 2025 running iOS 26 beta, and someone was like, I am showing an optimized game Call of Duty that the phone is freaking laggy, and then I should play some other game like eFootball etc. Alright, let's prove him wrong. This is the iPhone 12 in 2025, but then before we get into the eFootball he wanted to see so bad, you can see we are on iOS 26. The build quality is very decent, aluminum frame like the iPhone 16 base model, just that the frame isn't rounded. It's also very light at 164 grams. We have a camera cutout that looks good and good enough to fit in a case without looking so bulgy like what we have on the latest 15 Pro, 16 Pro, even the 14 Pro. 6.1 inches, just like the base iPhone 16, 460 pixels per inch, also like the base iPhone 16, 60 Hz, like the base iPhone 16. The other thing that's quite different is the display brightness, because it also still supports HDR and Dolby Vision, just like the base iPhone 16. But then the display brightness is not good enough for outdoor use. It peaks at 625 nits for standard content, which is what you'll be viewing most of the time. Yeah, the HDR goes up to 1200 nits, but then the device will get hot very fast, so it's not really worth talking about. So first impressions, the game is actually very smooth, although I have to follow the instructions up there. Aim to dribble the blue area. Okay. That was a very easy goal. So easy in my opinion. So what do you guys think? Is this laggy in any way from your honest opinion? I don't really think so. Performance wise, we have A14 Bionic with 4-core GPU. Where is Geekbench? This clocks at 3.0 GHz technically. We also have 4 gigs of RAM to work with. And as you can see in the benchmark history, this particular one, I ran it on iOS 26 beta 1. You can see both the single core and multi-core met with the average we'd expect, and met very decently because I actually kind of stressed the device a bit before running these benchmarks, but it still delivered. For GPU, it's almost half of what we get on the latest iPhones, and in my opinion that is still very good. Think about it guys, this is still within a very good acceptable score for most games, and let's prove that by trying out something like Brawl Stars. Look at that, we have medium graphic quality and max frame rate. Probably going to get myself killed, but what the hell. Nice. Let's keep that up. So guys, my take is that it's definitely 60 frames per second, everything moves smoothly, and you can definitely use this to play multiplayer ranks matches. Probably I'll say stick to Wi-Fi, not mobile data. One thing I need to add again is that the iPhone 12 still uses Smart HDR3. It is nowhere as good as Smart HDR4 on the iPhone 13 series, which is why you notice noticeable camera differences. Also, the camera lens itself is actually very small compared to 13 and above, and there is no sensor shift OIS on this one. So the camera is not really something I recommend. Yeah, you might want to get a 13 for that, even if it can shoot HDR video, because you'd struggle a lot with lower lighting. Of course, if you're outdoors, you'd enjoy this good and fine. The battery is 2815 mAh. It is noticeably not as strong as an iPhone 13, you get, but then it can still do the job. But I'll tell you that you might have to consider getting the iPhone 13 if you want something with a decent enough battery. Also, think about the fact that if you want to get this at 128 gigs, which is not the base model, you know it comes at 64 gig before that, you'd have to spend almost as much as the base iPhone 13, 128 gigs. So it's a no-brainer to just get the 13. Also, if you want a dedicated gaming test for this device, indicate in the comment. And like it or not, iOS 26 runs very nice on this device. You can see my glassy elements of my liquid glass, everything looks good and fine. Yeah, I love this glass stuff. It's kind of nice to mess with, but then the battery drops very fast when you begin to like load the device with a lot of stuff. Anyways guys, let me know what you guys think about this particular iPhone 12, and if you have one, how it has been for you also indicate in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. iHaadi out.